Just walking around the building, taking pictures.
Just taking pictures?
Yeah. What's going on, folks?
Oh, wait.
How are you?
Where are we headed to?
Just walking around the building, taking pictures.
Just taking pictures?
Yeah.
All right, can't film anywhere near the courtroom, okay?
We won't go in the courtroom.
I'll make you my card too. The other one I was gonna show you.
How's it going, sir?
Doing good. What you up to?
Nothing much. We're just working on a video about the courthouse. It's a beautiful building.
Mm-hmm.
May I have your name and badge number, please?
585, and I'm Officer Turner.
Thank you. You're very nice. What about you, sir?
Mullins, 280.
Thank you. Thank you. You're very nice.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been a police officer here?
He's with actually.
I'm with the
of
city,
Greenville.
so.
Are you
with the county.
you
He's with the county.
are you a police officer?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been a police officer?
4 years.
4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do you like it?
It's fun. I enjoy it.
Were you in the military or something
I
before?
was 34 years in the military.
Which branch?
Army.
Army. Good. We love our army people and all our military people because they make sure that we sleep safe in a country that no other country is going to bully us, you know?
That's true.
We got the best army in the world.
Yes.
The previous president invest $1 trillion of our money into our military. I think that was very good. I disagree with a lot of things that he did, but I also agree with putting money towards our security in our country, as long as they don't stop our freedoms.
I totally agree with you there. I totally agree with you there.
Well, thank you.
Alrighty. Now, are you doing a history blog on the courthouse, or what are you doing exactly?
I go into public buildings and I talk to public employees and I find out how they're doing, and I go throughout the country doing this, and sometimes we get a negative response, but we're always nice to everybody.
It's it's a little different there. This courthouse was built in 1896,
Nice.
and it's been rehabbed around the late 1990s.
It's a beautiful building.
It is. There's a few of these old ones left. As county government grew, for the most part, they move what they call the land companies, which are like your recorder's office, your assessor's office, to other buildings. And this is just truly the courthouse and court records and that kind of stuff. And that's why they have security, myself here and the other officers, because obviously courts, sometimes you have people get a little disgruntled or, have to go to jail and all that stuff. That's what we're
Yeah.
here for.
I understand. How do you feel about we love, like I said, we love our freedoms. So we don't really agree with the checkpoint because we understand that you guys have people in this building that are suspected of committing crimes, but not everybody that comes in the building is suspected of committing a crime. And sometimes in public buildings, I've also noticed that they allow employees to walk through unsearched.
Right.
And then they search the public. So it makes me think like, whoa, is it us they don't trust, or what?
Everybody has to draw their line somewhere, just like you were telling me, there's some things about Trump that you like, some things you didn't like. For me, this is just me personally, the line sometimes is drawn at individual identification. For example, all that is going to scan to see if you've got something big enough, and we don't set it so sensitive like the airport does. We set it where it's going to pick up a knife, it's going to pick up a gun, it's going to pick up something of bulk, metallic or heavy, dense metal, or sometimes plastics like that. But it's not identifying you. I don't know your name. It's not going to tell me anything.
I think if you guys are going to do that, which is still, we still have the Fourth Amendment. Our rights should be protected here more than anywhere else. I think if you're going to do that, they should do it then entering the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? So that you don't search everybody. At least,
Yeah.
keep the courtroom safe if that's what you guys really want to do. But this area right here is a public area. I'm not here to, argue about it, but we're just trying to educate people
I would-
on
I
our
would tell you
constitutional
something that
rights.
you might want to you may be interested in, and this just, for me, sometimes pushes my limits of tolerance on government intervention. They've recently installed camera systems that are plate readers around the county and the city. If you want to see what one looks like, there's one up by the library on Broad Street. There's 2 of them by I-70, both going and coming on the interstate. And they will pick up and read your license plate and will tell not if you've got a warrant, suspended license,
Wow.
all that information. To me, that's an invasion of me is because you've identified me. You've not identified the fact whether I'm speeding. You're identifying me.
There's no reason to try to identify you
Absolutely.
unless you've broken a law.
And there's like 7 of them here in Greenfield. There's probably about a dozen out in the Hancock County, mainly along the border with Marion County.
How can we protest that? Where do we
Trust
go?
me, I have no idea because I wasn't too happy with it myself.
Well, I'm glad that
Letter
you're
to the
standing up
editor.
for freedom,
Right, and for me, that's a safety factor. Airport does it. I mean, obviously, and I understand, we can have difference of opinion in degrees. To me, my line drawn is when you identify me as a citizen from everybody else, just because I'm driving down a road and it's not even those cameras I mentioned, they're not attached to a police car, although all the police cars have plate readers. I can at least somewhat understand that. If I pull in behind somebody, I want to know who I'm pulling over. It's handy because I'm already going to pull them over.
Yeah, because you already saw him doing
I've already
something
marked
wrong.
them. Lights are on. I'm going to read their plate. Just saves me typing it in.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing that to the citizenry, just for
I love
shits
I
and
love that
giggles,
you feel that you feel like that about it because and that you're openly expressing your feelings about it because a lot of people would just be quiet,
It
don't
irks
say
me
nothing.
greatly.
Yeah,
And that's
man.
why
I know that
I
you would
mentioned-
never stop a citizen around walking around a sidewalk without being suspected of a crime to just
Right.
say, "Hey, you got any ID on you? Where are you heading to?"
Now, to mention that, there is a Supreme Court law that's out there that upheld, and I can't remember the year, 70s, I think, when it went through. It's called a Terry stop. A police officer can pull you over if there's a suspected crime in the area and say, and you have to identify yourself. Who are you? What's your birth date? The 2 things he needs to be able to make sure that you may not be the suspect, and he can identify you. But there's already a suspected crime that has been committed maybe in the area.
But it has to be you that personally. They can't
Right.
just go and
ask
identify
everybody.
everybody.
Right.
They need to suspect you personally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, that's just called a Terry stop, and that's been upheld in court as reasonable because there's a suspected crime in the area, and he's just inquiring. But that's different than a camera taking everybody's license plate and just storing it in the cloud forever.
Yeah. I hear you.
And if you want the information on those, the system is called Flock, Flock. It's a company that's out there, and they're selling them a lot to law enforcement.
Oh.
There's 2 of them that do that.
Oh, we're gonna
The Flock camera
maybe we
system.
need to go interview them. Tell them to
I don't
stop.
know where they are, California or something, I want to say, but they have been selling them like crazy to county and city governments everywhere across the country.
That's very anti-American.
The scary part about it is that you can drive by one of those cameras and it's going to take your picture. It has your, the license plate number. And let's just say I wanted to track you for some reason. And you go on vacation next month and you pass through St. Louis, Denver, and you wind up in Seattle, Washington. If any of those, you pass any other Flock cameras in any of those cities, when I type in your license plate number, I can track you all the way along because once you
What?
bought into Flock, you have access to all the cameras.
Oh man, I bet you the NSA loves that.
I bet they do.
Hey, what was your name again, Sheriff?
Officer Turner.
Officer Turner.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're the nicest cop that we've met in
it's
Indiana
like, I
in the
do
past
this.
few days.
I'm a part-time guy, and I'm all about freedom. I spent 34 years serving our country,
awesome.
fighting for freedom. And as you can tell, those cameras burned me a new asshole.
Oh yes, yes, yes. You know my friend over here. He runs a YouTube channel. It's called CPR Audits. I run a YouTube channel myself called Auditing America, and we were filming peacefully yesterday.
Day before yesterday, as in
The day before yesterday,
Marion County at the courthouse, across the street from the transit.
we were about 40 feet away from the officer who was detaining, actually quote unquote detaining. He wasn't detaining nobody. That guy was an informant. They were playing. They were acting.
Cop told me he was-
So the cop's telling my friend over here that he needs to leave. You need to leave. We're like over here. They're like over there. And
just 'cause I was
my friend refused to leave. We weren't interfering in any way, obstructing in any way. We weren't even being loud or trying to speak to his the person that he was detaining, and he decided to take my friend to jail for refusing to leave emergency area. But you know what happens a few hours later?
Dismissed.
Magically, there's no more charge. Everything is gone. My friend don't have to pay a single dollar to get out of jail. They really messed up over there. What's the name of that police department?
IMPD.
Indianapolis.
Yes, they left. You see, me personally, I don't like to sue anyone. I've been able to sue multiple places, and I never do because I don't think it's fair for the citizens of that city to pay for a public employee's mistake.
Exactly.
So it's not fair. If I was to sue,
Right.
I get all that money and make a big party in that city, for all the citizens, because that's their money.
I'll give you an honest thing. From the two of you, for example, you're wearing a mask. Both of you and you have a little bit of an accent. Armenian?
No, I'm Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican? Okay,
Yes.
I'm just guessing. From a security standpoint, think of it from both perspectives. Have two people coming in with cameras. Hidden face, bit of an accent. It's like, okay. So you automatically have an officer, or when I was military, a little bit concerned. It's like, it's not in the norm. And a lot of, especially officers that are out on the road a lot, you got to realize that IMPD officer may have shown up to 3 armed robberies, a murder, and several other things over the course of the last day. And there's a PTSD that sometimes gets with police officers and they also get a little jaded, especially IMPD, because those guys deal with so much stuff, and you have to understand it from both perspectives. To me, there's reason for security, and it's normal and natural to put something on edge. Two of you make me a little concerned when you first came in, talking to you, okay, fine. But there's obviously a security concern from my mind, because I'm
Yeah.
here to protect the courthouse.
And
Are
I
these
un-
people
and I
stalking
understand-
the courthouse for some particular nefarious reason.
Yeah, no, I understand that, people can get ideas in their head or
Absolutely.
maybe the wrong idea about somebody, but it's all about, it's a thin line between me breaking the law
Right.
and an officer violating
Stepping
my
onto
rights.
Stepping on.
So we just have to make sure that neither one of us cross that line, and everything is going to be okay as long as we're respectful.
Absolutely.
And I tell you something. I love the First Amendment, and most of the time, if somebody is nasty to me, I'm not going to talk violence, but I'm going to be nasty back because that's what our country's about. Saying what you feel. I can say, hey, screw you. Don't you call me that. You are that. You're
I
not
would
going
tell
to put, step on me.
From my military background and from law enforcement background, I would tell you that in the future, what would probably put maybe a little bit more at ease, and maybe you do, is before you start the filming, when you first come in, identify who you are and who you're with. I'm a YouTube watcher all the time, and it's like, if the fact you're going to do the blog, obviously there's a lot of stuff you'll edit, you'll piecemeal stuff together. You put on there about freedoms, that's fine. But just keep in mind that from a security standpoint, put everyone's mind at edge, because you don't, though they may not cross the line, you don't want somebody thinking, do I need to put my hand on my weapon and just watch these two guys because they're acting a little funny?
And we have a lot of those.
Exactly. And that's an officer's job. I mean, my job is to maintain order within this courthouse and to make sure that we don't have anything happen. And granted, in the 4 years I've worked here, the first time I've had 2 people come in as YouTubers, YouTubing something, mask up a little bit.
This is the first time?
First time. So with me, like I said, I'm familiar with YouTube, watch it all the time.
Where you're gonna be seen by thousands, and I believe a lot of people are going to like you because you are being very nice to us.
Try to leave my name out, if you would, just for boss. With me part-time, I really don't care if I got fired or not. But I'm not, you gotta remember, there is a point where I shared with you my camera thing, because to me that's crossing the line.
You know what? You've been so nice to us that I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But you know what? We would never do that, because the thing is with me, I treat people the way that that I want to be treated. And if this is my video, I make the decision where what I put on what I don't, because I'm not violating anyone's privacy.
Right.
I'm in a public building, financed by tax dollars. These videos are they are taxing YouTubers on these videos.
And personally, you're bringing up some parts that.
But you're very nice, so we're gonna hook you up.
I appreciate it. And you're bringing up some good points. It's like, when I also like history. When you look at Hitler and what happened in Germany, you could not have probably told a German citizen in 1925 that within 15 years you guys are going to be at war and you're probably going to be killing millions of people just because of their ethnicity. But yet it happened, and it happened because systematically the German people sacrificed their freedom a little bit more and a little bit more for the security promised by their government, which wound up being Adolf Hitler. And in the end, when freedom is given away, it seldom is ever given back, or taken away. And a lot of people sacrifice today in the name of safety and security. And there are some things, as we become a more populated society, that we probably do need to consider for safety. I'm a big gun advocate, but I also realize that it's out of hand and they have to do something to probably manage that. What, I don't know, but I don't know if either side has a good answer. You have the liberal side that's like, take them all away. I'm not going to do that. Then we have to have some stops, because obviously there's issues involved with shootings in Indianapolis all the time.
The only thing that stops a bad guy is a good guy
With a gun.
with a gun. The bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. So I think everybody should exercise their Second Amendment and keep their family and home safe. If a thief goes in there, empty the whole clip, because you're not gonna.
But you also have issues with mental health. A lot of times officers, one of the biggest things you're going to encounter is police officers encountering people as the first responder to someone with a mental health problem. And just like over at the FedEx shooting in Indianapolis a month ago, mental health issue. Most of these people, if you're on a suicide mission in this country and you're out there to shoot somebody, you're probably not playing with a full deck of cards. And it's one of those things where whatever reality those people are living in probably shouldn't have access to a weapon. Now, what's the right answer? It isn't to take the law-abiding citizen's guns away, obviously.
The criminal is still gonna get it.
Yeah.
If they if they do try to take like whatever they call, assault rifles, AR-15s and stuff like that, they're only going to take them away from good people, because heroin's been illegal for the longest and people still get it.
That's absolutely right.
They need to get rid of heroin and fentanyl, not guns.
And most of your violence is because of drugs. I mean, a lot of things dovetail together, you know, between mental health issues and drug addiction.
The
which
CIA
is-
smuggled drugs. They put drugs too. They say
Well,
we're gonna. That's a whole
beyond-
different
That's
subject.
beyond my subject and pay
Listen, my
grade.
friend, you're very nice. We're gonna go ahead and take a little bit more pictures in the building, and we'll be on our way.
Okay.
You take care, all right?
Take care.